Jenkins brings him down. We figure to see a lot of Lynch tonight running behind this offensive line, which includes Justin Britt, the rookie second-round pick at right tackle. Lynch and Harvin are the primary guys who are dangerous for this team. Luke Wilson, who had that opening kickoff return, replaces Zach Miller, a former Pro Bowl tight end. Had some ankle surgery, a cleanup on that ankle, and he is out for the next couple of weeks. ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by Chili's, where fresh is happening now. NFLShop.com, find the largest selection of NFL products at the official store of the NFL. And GMC, enter the Never Say Never sweepstakes for a chance to win a 2015 GMC vehicle at gmc.com/NFL. The scaffolding around the Capitol Dome Restoration Reconstruction Project in D.C. And here in Maryland, our coverage from Spider Camp tonight is brought to you by DirecTV. April, perhaps, trying to block that good Seattle defensive line. This front five will watch Trent Williams, a slight dislocation of his right kneecap against the Giants a week ago Thursday. And in terms of the backs and the receivers, it is Morris, who's had two terrific years. Garcon and Deshaun Jackson, can they get deep? And Niles Paul, coming off the concussion, cleared the protocol and is ready to go. As Robert Griffin III watches again, Michael Bennett on the call there. So another benefit for the Washington offense. Bennett, Averill, John told you, they've got five more guys. They come in, all play well. Malcolm Smith's the Super Bowl MVP. KJ Wright is terrifically gifted, very versatile backer. And you're familiar with the Legion of Boom, Sherman, Chancellor, and Earl Thomas. Well, Brandon Browner went to New England. Byron Maxwell has come in end of last year, start of this year, and has done a very nice job on that corner opposite Sherman. Marshawn.
Well, Mike, the Seahawks were telling us that there was nothing going on with him, but during that opening drive when the game started, Lynch was over here on the sideline. His cleats weren't even tied, so he knew he wasn't going into the game. Then he had a heating pad back there on his lower back. He was riding the stationary bike for a while. He got up and stood with the rest of the team, started stretching out his quads, asked for football, and was simulating carrying the ball. So I did know that he was going back into the game, but again, we've got no official word about what exactly was going on.
Being used as such a unique weapon, not a lot of receptions downfield coming into the game. Look at all those receptions. The blue circle, 7 behind the line of scrimmage, very few downfield. It's almost like he's been more of a running back than a wide receiver through the first 3.
But he still averages almost 130 all-purpose yards a game. They want his hands on the ball as a runner. Best way to do that is give him a high percentage throw.
7-0 Seattle. Russell Wilson and Kirk Cousins share a field again, like they did a couple of big-time times in the Big Ten 3 years ago.
Kirk rolls to his right, sends a long spiral to the end zone. He got it! Cardinals win! Wilson back to throw. Jet Duckworth on the receiving end. Hand off, Monty ball up the middle. Ball to the end zone. The Badgers take the lead.
Russell Wilson ended up leading that Wisconsin team. His 1 year at Wisconsin to the Rose Bowl. Kirk Cousins took Michigan State to an Outback Bowl championship that helped lay the foundation for their eventual Rose Bowl win. And they meet again in the pros.
I saw him last week against Denver. I thought the Broncos did a great job getting people to him. They hit him with 2, 3, 4 Broncos. They knocked his helmet off. They got after Lynch for 55.5 minutes. But he keeps coming. He keeps driving at you. He will not quit. And at the end of the game, he walks off with another touchdown and a victory for the Seahawks. What a back.
With a league lead. After 1, Seattle by 7 on Monday Night Football.
ESPN, celebrating 45 years of Monday Night Football.
Yards. Well, before the game, Deshaun Jackson, Richard Sherman, these guys got to know each other back in their youth days in Southern California. In fact, they were Little League baseball teammates, the Holly Park Little League. Deshaun Jackson's dad coached the team. His dad has since passed away, but Richard Sherman telling us they got to know each other, what a great talent Deshaun was, and Deshaun's dad would come pick up Richard a half hour away from elementary school to bring him to the practices. It was part of the reason those two have gotten to know each other along the way, and they get to match up here tonight. You watch a lot of Seahawks games, they always seem to have their full complement of timeouts going into their 2-minute drill. So uneven start here for Seattle after their 15 days off. You mentioned it at the very beginning of our broadcast, the time you spent up in Seattle as they were getting training camps started. There's a love and a passion for football that's so evident, not just in Pete Carroll's gum-chew and rah-rah down the sideline, in every player you talk to and spend time with from them.
But you know why that is? It's because when they draft or they sign a free agent, they're looking for qualities that they cherish. They're looking for players that are self-motivated, guys that love football, people that can't get away from the game. That's as important to Pete Carroll as anything. And when you go watch the Seahawks practice or just go to their hotel and meet them, these guys can't wait to play or practice or go to a meeting.
You saw Earl Thomas. That's my favorite story of all the research and reading for this week. When they got their Super Bowl rings in May, it's a big party. Everybody's having it's the time of your life. Earl Thomas went back to the facility to watch film.
True story. He sleeps on the locker room floor the night before games.
That certain passion for it is unique to what they have built in the great Northwest. ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by Jockey. Quality crafted to last longer. Guaranteed Jockey, supporting greatness. Subway restaurants, fuel your training routine at Subway. Subway, train hard, eat fresh. And Autotrader.com, land a great deal on your perfect car at Autotrader.com. That is the proud man. That's Jim Gruden. It's John and Jay's dad. Jim and his wife Kathy, your mom back home watching one son coach on Monday Night Football, the other son in the booth. Great people and pretty proud, I know.
Yeah, I tell you what, he's not watching this game right now. He gets nervous. He's probably walking around yelling at Jay right now. Get something going. Love my dad. I'm proud of him.
Awesome, folks. He spent a lot of time in this league, in college as well. Respected scout and coach. Stephen Hauschka from 40 didn't hit it clean, but knocks it through, and Seattle extends the lead to 10-0. Pretty special family. Mention your mom and the one smart brother in the family, right?
Yeah, Dr. Jim, there he is up top. He's a doctor in New York City. He got all the brains.
Yard line. We talk about Russell Wilson already a couple of times this year. He has beaten Super Bowl champions. Now 8 times in his career, including the playoffs, the guys who've won the biggest games: Breeze, Rodgers, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady in that rookie season, Eli Manning. And now Russell Wilson is in that group. But he was very candid about what beating those players has meant in his development now in his 3rd year in the league.
For me to win a game against Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and those type of players, it's not easy to do, because they're such great quarterbacks and they play the game so much, and that's where I want to be one day. I want to play the game for 15, 20 years, and to know defenses so well, know my offense so well, where I'm just calling everything and so I'll get there at one point.
Chris Berman standing by for the Toyota halftime. We'll have the latest news updates from our insiders, Chris Mortensen and Adam Schefter. It includes a story on Detroit's Calvin Johnson. Lions talking about maybe not playing him next week as that foot injury continues to bother him. Today on SportsCenter has everything that's happened today in sports, including the baseball playoff updates. The local folks happy as the Nationals staved off elimination, winning in San Francisco 4-1. First down, and Seattle will let it go here and not use that final timeout. We'll get to the half. Washington gets the ball to start the 3rd. Russell Wilson, 89 yards rushing, a rushing TD, a passing TD, leading the Seahawks to a 10-point lead. Here's the Toyota halftime. Chris?
All right, Michael, thank you very much, and welcome everybody to halftime. The Seattle Seahawks get a couple of touchdowns from Percy Harvin, both called back, but they still have the lead 17-7. Glad you could be with us at halftime. Well, Monday is never quiet around the National Football League. That's why we always corral our insiders. That'd be Chris Mortensen, Adam Schefter here at halftime. We corral them. We want to know stuff. Calvin Johnson left the game for the Lions, the loss they had to Buffalo. What do we know about him, Morton? And good evening, fellas.
Yeah, same to you. But Lions coach Jim Caldwell suggested that he wished he had followed his instincts and shut Calvin Johnson down and not play him Sunday, but he was aggravated that injury. Johnson had more tests today, and regardless of those results, Caldwell says he's serious about shutting down Johnson, and it may be for more than just Sunday's game against the Vikings.
The Denver Broncos, of course, we all talk about Peyton Manning, 500 touchdown pass to Shefty, could catch Brett Favre real soon, or probably will. Running game, we don't talk about that. Monty Ball, out. How long?
Well, there were issues before with the running game. There are bigger issues now because Monty Ball is going to miss at least a few weeks. And the Broncos will be bringing in running backs to work out, but they're going to rely on Ronnie Hillman, Juwan Thompson, C.J. Anderson. But Ball is going to miss at least a few weeks. Boom. I've been struggling anyway, and now they'll be without Ball.
Let's go to the team they beat more at the Arizona Cardinals, who only had Carson Palmer in the game 1 this year. And nerve, you never really can predict it. What do we know now? Because they were down to their 3rd quarterback yesterday.
Yeah, the Cardinals spent just one night in Denver to suffer that loss on Sunday. But Palmer actually spent 4 nights in Denver working with a therapist named Greg Roscoff, who specializes in a manipulation technique that wakes up muscles that shut down because of damaged nerves. The treatment sessions actually were arranged by former Bronco John Lynch, a Hall of Fame candidate this year. Palmer reports progress and hopes to start Sunday against Washington.
Cardinals coach Bruce Arians quite vocal. Calais Campbell injured on a cut block from Julius Thomas. Punishment coming down from the league, maybe?
Not to what Arians wants. Bruce Arians, actually the coach of the Cardinals, says it was the dirtiest play he's seen in 37 years, and he wants Thomas to miss the same amount of time as Calais Campbell, and that's an uncertainty right now. Sprained knee, not as seriously as they thought. However, the Broncos are defending this hit. Thomas would have not been flagged had this just been a cut block instead of the illegal chop block. It's because left tackle Ryan Clady was supposed to fan out of there and not be there, and that cut block would have been legal, and he has a clean record. He's only going to get fined, Boomer, by the NFL.
Adam, the Jacksonville Jaguars, they're trying. They're trying to change their image and enthusiasm. The mascot yesterday, not so much.
Across the line here, Bowman, the Jaguars have apologized for their mascot using the Ebola epidemic to mock the Pittsburgh Steelers' terrible towels during Sunday's game. The Jaguars mascot, Jackson DeVille, held up a sign that said, "Towels carry Ebola," a disease that so far has claimed thousands of lives. The Jaguars said they were unaware of the inappropriate sign until after it had been displayed, but they were well aware of it now, and they said they're handling the matter internally.
Well, they know they need to. Mort reports this weekend. Mike Holmgren won a Super Bowl, been to a couple others, visiting the Raiders headquarters.
Boom, you've been holding out on us a little bit here. So, Holmgren last coached in 2008 with the Seahawks, but he confirmed today on Seattle's KJR radio that he did make a consulting visit to Oakland last week after the Raiders fired Dennis Allen. And when asked point blank by radio host Mitch Levy if he could possibly coach the Raiders in the future, he paused and said, "Probably not, probably not." Meanwhile, Tony Sparano greeted his players as the team's new interim coach, actually buried a football symbolic of their first 4 losses of the season.
Well, Coach Holmgren, honest in his answers, you coach, but we'll see. We'll keep an eye on that one. I'm sure people in Seattle are interested. So the Jets lose 31-0. They look terrible to the Chargers. Geno Smith now reports, Shefty, that he missed a team meeting in San Diego. Is it a big deal?
Quite a week, Boom. Cursed fans last week, missed a team meeting this week, 5 to 10 minutes, said to be an honest mistake. He said he confused the time zones. That was the problem, was out at the movies, realized the mistake, realized he had to rush back, and he said tonight that he counted down instead of counting up. His mishap, he messed it up, said again, counted down instead of up. So maybe in honor of Geno Smith, next week's show, the pregame show, will be called Monday Night Count Up instead of Monday Night Countdown.
Good thing they weren't playing in Hawaii, then would have been AWOL. When we return, the Browns came back to win from 25 points down. Is any lead safe in the NFL in 2014? We may be on to a record-setting pace for double-digit comebacks. And SportsCenter's quick view of the day in sports, back in 60 seconds.
This halftime is presented by Toyota. Let's go places.
Have come back in mind. Kirk Cousins, Deshaun Jackson, 60-yard touchdown pass, 17-7 Seahawks, halftime. Enjoy it.
Welcome to Monday Night Football.
It makes rock concerts look like tea parties.
What a show this band has put on tonight. 99 yards and a half.
Ignition, we have liftoff.
Are you ready for some football? He's got it. A record. He did it. Or you can take me now. I've seen it all. The 699th Monday Night Football game set for the second half. 17-7 Seattle on top. They're the key numbers. The 2-to-1 plus ratio of total yards for Seattle. Just 5 Washington first down. Seattle's penalties. The 8 Certainly a problem for Pete Carroll's team in the first half. Mike Tirico, John Gruden. If there's a headline, it's Russell Wilson. If there's a question, is how do you stop him or contain him here in the second half?
He's hard to stop. He can hurt you as a runner or a passer, and clearly tonight he's done both. But you got to contain him. Here's Percy Harvin in motion. They fake it to Harvin. They fake it to Lynch. It's a play-action pass, and one-on-one, E.J. Biggers is no match for Russell Wilson. And then it's just a scramble play. Look how many yards Russell Wilson runs. He's going to run 36 or 37 yards, and he throws a pass to Cooper Helfelt that set up another touchdown. A lot of these plays aren't scripted, Mike. Wilson makes things happen, and the thing I like the most about him is he takes care of himself. He doesn't take a lot of hits.
6 rushes for 89 yards. Washington's offense, that one big play, the touchdown to Deshaun Jackson, is more than half of Washington's total yards in that first 30 minutes. Stephen Hauschka been all touchbacks so far, and that continues as we send it down to Lisa Salter.
Hey, Mike, well, I just talked to Jay Gruden. He said, we got to get Alfred Morris going again. He said they did a nice job of stopping the run early, and we just abandoned the run. We got to get back going again, and then we got to challenge them down the field, throw the ball. He said, what the heck, right? Sounded just like John. As for Pete Carroll, he said too many mistakes. We were hurting ourselves. Little things, execution-wise, we got to clean up on both sides of the field. And an update on Percy Harvin. He was treated for cramps at halftime. He got an IV fluid back in the locker room, but he's back on the sideline.
That's great news given his injury history.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
From Washington, ESPN's Monday Night Football brought to you by Fury in theaters October 17th. NFL.com/mobile stream live local Sunday and primetime games on your phone. Navy Federal, serving the armed forces and their families. And Autotrader.com. Land a great deal on your perfect car at Autotrader.com. And on this night with the temperature in the mid-60s, our coverage from Spider Cam here at FedEx Field is brought to you by DirecTV. Seattle scored the first 17, Washington the next 10. Seattle's big names getting it done through the 89 rush yards for Russell Wilson, a touchdown throwing and rushing. Marshawn Lynch averaging just over 5 a carry. And Percy Harvin, 3 receptions, 19 yards. Those 3 big players. And John, it's the threat of what they can do as well, which makes this team so difficult to defend.
There's so much deception, and the deception features their best players. Wilson can hand it to Lynch. He can keep it himself, and oftentimes they have Percy Harvin involved as a receiver or a runner as well. And the ball handling is superb. They spend a lot of time detailing it.
And the woman there at the top of that fire engine is Tanya Snyder, the wife of Redskins owner Daniel Snyder. Big part of the breast cancer awareness that has spread throughout the league in the month of October. Helped finish the fight against breast cancer by visiting NFL.com/pink to celebrate the NFL and American Cancer Society's first ever Crucial Catch Day. That's October 25th. They're winning the special teams. What a football Saturday it was last week. What's the encore? Alabama, Arkansas, 6 Eastern time. Starts college football prime time. And then number 3, Ole Miss. What a scene in Oxford. They'll take on the Aggies as Texas A&M tries to bounce back their second straight week against one of the Mississippi teams. Fun Saturday, wasn't it, watching the college ball?
Yes, it was. You don't know what's going to happen in that division of football, I'll tell you.
Forbath field goal, the only points of the quarter, through 3. Seahawks by 7 on Monday Night Football.
ESPN, celebrating 45 years of Monday Night Football.
Easter.
ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. Expedia, whatever trip you can imagine all in one place, Expedia, find yours. ESPNFanshop.com, powered by Dick's Sporting Goods. And the Universal Pictures Dracula Untold in theaters and IMAX on Friday. This woman is Jane Heltzer. She worked for 48 years for Wilton, makers of the football, and she has made a football without laces. Why? It's important. Gruden's quarterback camp called about laceless footballs. Jane agreed out of retirement to work a few hours each week to help. She sews the footballs at home. And John, you're going to explain why a laceless football is important in today's football in a moment.
Well, if you're a shotgun quarterback like Russell Wilson, you got to have big hands. You got to be able to catch the ball, release it, oftentimes without the laces. Look at him catch this ball, no laces, throw the ball. You don't have to find the laces and slow things down, but here's a ball with no laces. You catch it, throw it, Mike.
Oh, I can't spin.
That's why I called Jane. You got to work on throwing the ball quickly with no laces.
Sorry, I almost hit you.
That's why Jane is going to get a great Christmas bonus.
Gruden grinder. All those games, only 2 other quarterbacks have had a 100-yard rushing night, both against New York teams. Steve Grogan of the Patriots did it against the Jets in '76, and Donovan McNabb of the Eagles did it a dozen years ago against the Giants. But add Wilson with the best rushing night by a quarterback in Monday Night Football history. Up to the arch, gateway to the west, St. Louis and the Rams trying to get their season turned around against Colin Kaepernick and the 49ers, who had a good second-half performance in their victory over Kansas City in Santa Clara yesterday. So Monday Night Countdown gets you going at 6 Eastern, and then 49ers-Rams at 8:15 Eastern Time next Monday night. Marshawn Lynch, 54 rushing yards. That receiving touchdown, John Ryan, the punter, who dressed up as a punter for Halloween when he was 8. Great story about that in the Seattle Times. He's living a dream. And he's had a huge impact on this game tonight. No Washington drive has started from outside their own 20. It has been just a struggle the last couple of years. Why have things gone wrong of late? Well, $18 million each year, $36 million total in salary cap being docked because they front-loaded contracts in an uncapped year. Dallas and Washington suffered that penalty. The Griffin trade, he's been injured, 4 games under 500 and 3 1s and a 2, the price paid to acquire RG3. And all the injuries, not just Griffin. Jordan Reed has missed most of the season. D'Angelo Hall out for the season. No Tracy Porter tonight. Still waiting on Barry Cofield and Stephen Bowen, the guys to play up in front. So Seahawks' ability to keep most of the team together for the championship, although they did lose some significant players, the keys are together. Why? Because salary cap numbers were low for Thomas, Sherman, Baldwin, and Wilton last year. But time came calling. They had to take care of Sherman for the next few years. Salary cap numbers there, and Sherman, and the receiver Baldwin. They did not have to extend because of the CBA and when he was drafted, Russell Wilson. So his salary cap number is $817,000 this year. The best bargain in the sport. Now, next year, you start to get into that window where you want to renegotiate his contract in all likelihood, and it may impact who Seattle can keep going forward. But for now, the opportunity to keep this terrific difference maker with some very good people and a very deep roster, the reason Seattle's going to have a terrific chance, if healthy, to repeat. And that might be the final snap of the night. Cousins not intercepted, didn't turn it over. But his opposite number, the quarterback for the Seahawks, did the job with his ability to run and throw and keep plays alive. Best rushing night of his career. Best rushing night for a quarterback in the history of Monday Night Football. 122 for Russell Wilson. 1 rushing touchdown, 2 passing. Seattle 27, Washington 17. With John Gruden, Lisa Salters, and our team, Mike Tirico. The coverage continues with the GMC postgame next on SportsCenter.
ESPN thanks you for watching this presentation of the National Football League. This is SportsCenter Live.
What's happening? I'm Scott Van Pelt. Welcome to SportsCenter. Steve Levy and the fellas on the way from the Monday Nighter, where, as you just saw, Seattle gets the victory. As a native of the Washington, D.C. area, I can tell you that nerves were a little frayed about this day. Redskins have been watching everybody else in the NFC East play well as they are off to a slow start. Meanwhile, the Nationals, who won an NL best 96 games but dropped the first 2 to San Francisco, would see their season end if they made it 3 straight losses to San Francisco. Beautiful ballpark, a beautiful day. And Madison Bumgarner off a shutout in the wild card game against Pittsburgh. Dealing early, Denard Span gets the gas face. The curveball here gets Wilson Ramos, and then Bryce Harper 0-2 Strike 3. More Bumgardner on the way. Bryce Harper here with runners on first and second. Up into a high sky. Looks like maybe it's gone. Harper makes a big play and comes up firing. Saves extra bases and a potential run, and more from Harper coming in this highlight as well. Doug Fister got himself out of a jam here. He's in a tight spot. And Bumgardner strikes out now. 2-2 breaking ball to Crawford. Buster Posey strikes out as well as the shadows begin to creep. Fister goes 7, 3 Ks, no runs. To the 7th inning, the moment of the game. Runners on first and second. Wilson Ramos runs at such a premium in this series, trying to get runners into scoring position. Bumgardner comes up, and you just know as he's going to make that throw, that's not the base to go to, and then it just compounds itself. Bad throw, skips away. 1 run will score. 2 runs will score as Harper comes sliding in, and the Nationals have got a lead. Another look here as the throw comes over, and this could have been cataclysmic as Pablo Sandoval goes down. The slide was painful, but ultimately he'd stay in the game. Another run comes in as Drupal Cabrera singles in the left. Ramos is roaring in, safe at the dish. The Nationals lead 3-0. Then Fister, still nobody out. Let's get another runner to third, and Sandoval, obviously none the worse for wear from that collision, makes a gorgeous diving grab. The Giants escape the inning without further damage. 7 innings, 6 Ks, 3 runs, 2 earned for Bumgardner. Bottom 7, Travis Ishikawa with a runner on second. Who's got it? That man again, Harper, just picks it off the top of the grass. Another good play. So he's coming up big in the field, and he'll come up big at the dish again. This time of year, give me as many runs as you can give me for some more breathing room. And that ball is hammered. Not quite as hard as the shot in D.C. That's as hard as I've ever seen a ball hit. Doesn't quite make the cove, but it makes it to the seats. His second of the series. Nationals lead 4-0 after a Sandoval single, a Hunter Pierce double. Giants with a threat, and Brandon Belt, who had the big belt in that 18-inning game, strikes out, and the Nationals allow a run to come in, but no more damage, and this series is a little closer. How about that banana and mayo sandwich? Matt LaCroix, the bullpen coach, 8-1. They're 8-0 when he does. Let's put that on the menu again if you're a Nationals fan. Game 4, under the lights, Tuesday, as the Nationals try to get this one back to D.C. As for that critical play, the play of the game, Bumgardner explains what happened.
You can't throw the ball away, you know. It's just, you know, screwed it up for us, and you know, we got to come out tomorrow ready to play. I know we will, so I'm not worried about it. It's just unfortunate that we handed it to them like that.
After the first 2 strikes, I say, come on, Wilson, you have to do it. You have to do it for the team, and I did it well.
He tried to do a little too much there on that bunt, and, you know, you take the out. But he tried to rush it, and he threw it away. He threw it away well, too, I may add. But, you know, when you're in a game like that, you know, it's probably going to cost you, which it did. And, you know, he pitched great. Just that was not a good decision, and sure, you wish you could have it back and just get the out there.
Come in today and get 3 runs off of Bumgardner definitely is huge, and being able to get that momentum swing to us a little bit is definitely huge. But, I mean, I really feel like we've been swinging the bat pretty dang well all series, and, you know, it's just something that, you know, the ball needed to fall our way a little bit, and it did.
Harper's one of those guys who, because you've known his name for so long, feels like he's got to be older than he is. Still 10 days shy of 22. Goes deep for the second time. One of just 5 players ever 21 or younger to go deep more than once in a single playoff series. The others are a pair of triple crown winners, so you're in great company. And, I mean, every name on there, you're talking about legends in terms of those that are from the days of black and white video, so to speak. As for the Monday Nighter, the game that just went final. Big play in the game, 4th quarter, John Ryan, the punter. They fake it, they get the first down, and then it is Russell Wilson to Marshawn Lynch. About that action, boss. Touchdown. Redskins did score to make it a 1-score game, which was interesting to a lot of people for a lot of reasons. And then on 3rd and 4, this is the story of the night. Wilson just made ridiculous plays all night with his feet, avoids Kerrigan, and once again, we remind you about that action, boss. Speaking of action, a field goal late, and Seattle wins by 10. Steve Levy and the boys.
All right, Scotty, thank you. Yes, it's a D.C. split. The Nationals get the victory. The Redskins come up short. Welcome, everyone, to the GMC postgame report. We come to you live on the field here at FedEx Field, where it turns out in the end it's a 10-point victory for the defending Super Bowl champions. Along with Steve Young and Trent Dilfer and Ray Lewis, we will talk about the wild game by Russell Wilson and the show he put on. But first, big picture, Ray. A lot of people had Seattle coming in here and blowing Washington out. Certainly looked like that after the first drive. They moved down the field, made it 7-0. How can a 10-point win tonight help Seattle later this season?
We've seen this same thing last year. This same crew is together.